You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what He actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hi everyone, happy Valentine's Day, happy Love Day. Whatever your romantic life looks like today, the energy is going to be magical. I can promise you that. So we're talking all about a conjunction between Mars and Venus, the two planets most commonly associated with love, with masculine and feminine energy. We're going to talk through this conjunction that's actually happening over the course of the next month. So what a beautiful time for love. We'll go into that. We'll also talk about the moon in Leo, very romantic vibes. It's astrologically setting up to be a very romantic, even a little bit spicy day. So we'll talk all about that. But something fun I wanted to do before we dive into the astrology of the day is do a brief overview of the history of Valentine's Day. I think it's really fun to look at holidays through a historical lens. I'm somebody who likes to get to the bottom of things. We can blame it on my Scorpio moon, but I like to understand why we're celebrating the things we're celebrating. So I did a little research, and Valentine's Day actually has pagan roots. It's based off of a pagan festival in February. Also, Saint Valentine, we'll go over that in a second because like most holidays, Christianity took it over at some point, and then the greeting card industry took it over from there. But Valentine's Day actually started around AD 200, 270, something like that. But, the pagan holiday was called Lupercalia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It was celebrated in the Ides of February. Sounds very olden times, right? And it kind of has like a dark history because the men of the town, this was, probably in ancient Rome, somewhere like that, they would go out into caves, I believe, and they would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. I know, super sad. Don't worry. The rest of this live stream will be a little bit more upbeat than this. Then they would take the goat's hides and dip it in the sacrificial blood. I know. And then they would go into the town and slap the women with the bloody hides and the crops with the bloody hides because they thought it would bring fertility. So you can see there was it's not romantic at all, but there was this idea of fertility. And most women actually welcomed this because they wanted to be fertile. The festival also had an element of mating or matchmaking because the women of the town, the young women, would write their names on pieces of paper or something. They probably didn't have paper back then. They'd write their names down and put it in a big urn. And then the bachelors would each choose a name. I feel like this is like what The Bachelor is based off of in modern times or something. The bachelors would choose a name, then become paired with that woman for the duration of the festival or potentially the duration of a year. And oftentimes these matches ended in marriage. So it was this like matchmaking love festival. Then I am not a history expert, but I know from middle school history and high school history that, Christianity took over a lot of holidays, took over a lot of territories. The church became involved in a lot of traditions. And at some point, the Catholic Church decided to attribute the holiday, kind of Christianize the holiday or Catholicize the holiday by naming it after Saint Valentine. But there's a little bit of a murky history about who Saint Valentine actually was, because there are several people throughout history that have been sort of associated with Saint Valentine. Now Saint Valentine is a patron saint in Catholicism. We don't really know exactly who he was based off of, but there are different stories, legends about Saint Valentine being someone that would marry people unlawfully. So the Catholic Church right now recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus. This is from history.com, by the way. My journalist is coming out. Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When the emperor decided that single men made better soldiers than men with wives, he outlawed marriage for young men. But Valentine realized this was an injustice and defied the emperor and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. Okay, romance, we love it. So that's one history or legend associated with Saint Valentine. And some say it was St. Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake, also not a fan of that emperor. They did not get along. Others suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape Roman prisons where they were often beaten and tortured. So, he was doing some good things. We don't know exactly what he was doing, but this is really fun. This is the last little historical tidbit I'll give you before we jump into the astrology. According to one legend, an imprisoned Saint Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him while he was in prison. Before his death, it's alleged that he wrote a letter signed "From Your Valentine," an expression that we still use today. So we don't know the exact truth, but by the Middle Ages, maybe because of his reputation, Saint Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and France. And then the late 1800s, early 1900s is when Valentine's Day became commercialized. I believe here in the US when kind of the Industrial Revolution, people started commercializing Valentine's cards made out of scrap lace, scrap paper, and then I believe it was Hallmark in Kansas City in the early 1900s that Hallmark really commercialized the holiday. So that is your little Valentine's Day lesson. And the astrology is really beautiful today as well, but I always think it's fun to go into a little history lesson. So you're probably not here for that. You're probably here for what's going on with the planets, and let me tell you. So we have 2 major transits to talk about today. I hinted at this a little bit, but Venus and Mars are coming into a conjunction from now until March 12th, you guys. Oh my goodness. We love this. So take a look at the chart if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can see right now, these 2 planets are within a degree of each other. So when I say a conjunction, I mean that Venus and Mars are going to be traveling within a degree of each other through Capricorn here for the next month. And it's funny because at certain points over the past couple days, I've looked at the chart and they are at the same degree. So if you're somebody who looks at the current chart and you see that they're a degree off, because they don't travel at the exact same pace, it's like they're in a race and they're not racing each other, but you know what I mean? Like one is going a little faster, the other is going a little faster, but they'll be within this degree of each other for the next month. So just to clarify that. Venus, of course, is the planet of love, the planet of beauty, the planet of values, of romance. It's a very feminine energy, whereas Mars is the planet of aggression, action. It's very masculine. It's very energized. It's the warrior. So I'm sure you've heard of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. We can look at this energy, kind of like our masculine and feminine energies working together or even merging, blending over the next month. Not only if you identify as someone who's feminine, you're masculine working together with you, but it's important to note we all have masculine and feminine energies within each of us. So those parts of ourselves are working together over the next month. This energy creates an air of attraction, sexual attraction, passion. You can think of this, the best way I can describe the Venus and Mars energy is when you have two magnets. Okay, we've all done science experiments with two magnets. And Mars is that pushing, repelling energy, whereas Venus is that attracting, pulling, receptive energy. So if you put the two magnets next to each other, not even all the way close enough to each other, they snap together, right? When the opposite poles are pointed at each other. So you can think of Venus as pulling, Mars as pushing. And when these two energies come together, they just snap, right? So you can think of the attraction that way. If you're already in a relationship, you might feel another spark with your significant other, or just like you're gelling, like you guys are on the same page, you are working together. Or if you're looking for love, if you're dating, if you're single, this next month could be a time where you find someone you just click with. It's an excellent time to start a new relationship over the next month or deepen a current relationship because attractions are really strong through March 12th. And with these planets being in the beautiful stable sign of Capricorn, we've had a ton of Capricorn energy we've been talking about over the past month or two. With Venus and Mars being in Capricorn, we're really thinking long term when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love. Anything started during this conjunction in Capricorn could really stand the test of time. Or like I said, if you're already in a relationship, the deepening you do, the new levels you reach, the lessons you learn, or whatever this looks like for your current relationship are here to help you guys stand the test of time. So new flames under this influence can burn for the long haul, and any flames that in current relationships that feel weak can be reignited. Not just about love, but let's talk about some other areas of life with Venus and Mars too, because I know not everybody is at a place where romance relationships are the most important thing for them, and I respect that. So Venus and Mars also represent, Venus represents finances, physical items, the aesthetic, our physical surroundings, whereas Mars is more energetic, has an energetic energy. Does that even make sense? But Mars is that like energy within us, that raw animal instinct, drive, passion. So when these two planets merge, this can look like motivation to work towards our long-term goals, specifically financial goals or goals about creating physical wealth, physical abundance. We can also be more assertive when Venus and Mars come into this conjunction, but also more cooperative at the same time. So it's a great time to take the lead in a project, or it's easier to work with other people because masculine and feminine energy are working together, and we all have those energies within us. So this is, all the planets are direct as well. No planets retrograde. And no, we're still in a shadow period for Venus and coming out of the shadow period for Mercury, but I'm excited about this conjunction. So we're more motivated to work towards our goals that truly align with our values, our financial security. Also, the last thing I'll say about the Venus-Mars conjunction is that this really enhances our creativity as well. This puts energy behind our creativity. Venus is a very creative energy. And especially when it comes to using our body to express our creativity, this will be very true today with the moon in Leo as well. Dancing, sculpting, creating physical art, crafting, anything like that is going to feel easier, and you might be drawn to that over the next month with Mars and Venus coming into a conjunction. So really beautiful because Mars and Venus travel at a similar rate, not the same rate, that these two planets, I almost envision them like holding hands through Capricorn side by side through the next month. And if you're someone also who, this just keeps coming up for me, and I'm I'm a big believer in twin flames because I've had my own twin flame experience. Wherever you're at, I'm not pushing that on you. You know, if it resonates for you, it resonates for you. But if you're somebody who's in a twin flame relationship or in a twin flame separation, whatever, this could be a big moment too, because Mars, Venus of masculine, feminine again. So I'll go into that another time, or if you're somebody who wants to learn more about twin flames, look into it on your own, see if it resonates for you. Come find me on Instagram. We can have a whole chat about it because I have fallen deep down the twin flame rabbit hole. But with that being said, a little disclaimer here. You know, as I'm on this twin flame tangent, I don't believe a twin flame is someone that you should be seeking or looking for. You just have to kind of trust that if you're meant to come into contact with your twin flame in this lifetime, that the universe is going to put them in your path when they're supposed to be in your path. So over the next month, don't be like, this is when I'm going to find my twin flame. Like, that's not the energy you want. You really want to be in the energy of attraction with Mars and Venus coming into this conjunction. You can really apply the laws of attraction to this conjunction because Venus and Mars are all about attraction. So remember, you attract what you are. Whatever energy you're putting out is the energy you're going to receive. Go back to that magnet visualization, right? If you are more of that, you can think of yourself as putting out the energy that you're trying to get to click back to you. Okay, or vice versa, being open to receiving the energy that you want to click into you. Does that make sense? Or snap into you magnetically? So really focus on yourself, focus on being the energy you want to receive if you're looking for love. And the easiest time to attract somebody, I know it's so annoying when you're single to hear this, but is just to not worry about it, right? Like, not try to be attracting someone or to be in a loving relationship. And I know today too, I want to acknowledge that today can be a triggering day for people when everybody's posting about their relationships, everybody's posting about love. But just remember that self-love is going to be more beneficial, focusing on that self-love and getting you where you want to be than focusing on what you want out of a partner or trying to find the person. Okay, so that's my little 2 cents, my love advice. I'm not a love expert. I'm not a history expert. I'm not a twin flame expert, but that's my 2 cents from my experience. We love the magnet emojis here. Yes. Ready to light a fire this Valentine's Day. Ugh, and the moon is in Leo too, in your first house, Jenny. You better be feeling yourself today. Mars square Venus in your natal chart. Will this transit hurt or help? Interesting. That's an interesting thought. Mars square Venus. Well, in your chart, Mars and Venus are really activating and almost conflicting with each other. So this could bring conflict around love in your personal life. It depends on where Mars and Venus are in your chart. Because you have to look at what angle the current Mars and Venus are forming to your Mars and Venus. So that's really a question to look at. But this is a great question to ask. And if you have your chart in front of you, whether you're asking this question or not, take a look at where the middle of Capricorn falls in your chart, okay? Because that's where this Mars-Venus conjunction is playing out, kind of the middle through the end of Capricorn. So what house is that activating in your chart? What area of your life is that activating? That's the question to ask. And then take a look at how that area of your chart corresponds to where Mars and Venus are. What angles are this conjunction forming to your Mars and Venus? That's going to tell you how you can relate to this energy. So I'm sorry, it's not a straightforward answer, but if you have your birth chart, take a look at where this conjunction falls and what angle it's forming. And Astro Charts is a great site I recommend for this because you can actually see, like, you can go in and there's an option to see what angles the transits are forming, and it automatically populates it for you. So it's astro-charts.com. I would recommend if you're looking for a little assistance, or you can always book a reading with me. I have the Gemini is one of my readings that we look at the current energy and how it compares to your chart. Self-love moon day for you. I can't wait to talk to you about the Leo moon, because if you are leaning into self-love today, it is a beautiful energy to do so. So we will get to that in just a moment. It's in your third house. Okay, that's great. Your house of communication. So wherever you are in love, it'll be easier to express, to learn, to share, to talk about love, connection, romance, masculine and feminine energy, all of these things. So hopefully that helps. Good morning, everyone. I love everyone rolling in. Hello. Great to see you here. I was running a little late today too. I get it. Okay, the last thing I want to show you about this conjunction between Mars and Venus is actually from another astrologer. And I saw this morning, and I was going to paraphrase it, and then I said, you know what? She said it so beautifully. I'm just going to share it directly with you because, like, why not? So if you're watching right now, make sure you can hear this, like comment and make sure you can hear the audio because I don't normally do this with audio. But her name is Rosa DeBoer. I don't know how to pronounce it. She has a beautiful accent, so I'm probably butchering it. But she's an awesome astrologer, great follow on Instagram. And listen to what she has to say about this Mars-Venus conjunction just in time for Valentine's Day.
Fun fact about the astrology on today's Valentine's Day. So today, we see Mars, in Greek mythology also known as Ares, the god of war, conjunct Venus, in Greek mythology also known as Aphrodite, the goddess of love. They had a son together, a winged deity named Eros. Guess what? That's our original Cupid. I'm not sure where down the line Cupid got portrayed as this baby wearing a diaper with wings, because in the original Greek mythological story, Eros is this really beautiful, hot deity. That being said, I would interpret today's Mars-Venus conjunction as sort of a mirroring of the balance between making it happen and letting it happen in love. Happy Valentine's Day.
How amazing is that? A balance between making it happen and letting it happen in love. When she said that, when I saw that on Instagram this morning, I was like, that is the perfect way to describe this Mars-Venus conjunction. It's a balance or almost a dance between pushing, making something happen, putting love out there, and just being open to receiving love. So you can see why there's this potent energy of attraction, because those two energies are working together, pushing and pulling, that magnetic energy. Like I said, she's a great follow. Doesn't she have the cutest accent too? And I love also, we talked about the history, but also the mythology behind astrology, behind Valentine's Day, with Cupid being the representative of Valentine's Day, actually happened to be the child of the, mythological versions of Venus and Mars. So, I mean, it's always perfect, it's always beautiful, but you couldn't write or make up a better astrology forecast for today. The other major transit we have playing out is actually something that we have seen before. So Mercury this afternoon moves into Aquarius again. And let me actually pull this up because I want to talk about what this means. And I went into this, actually, the last time Mercury moved into Aquarius was on New Year's Day. So when many of us were making our resolutions and thinking about the future, very Aquarian, we had Mercury move into Aquarius. Of course, Mercury moved back into Capricorn during its retrograde. So we've had this back and forth that Mercury has been playing with us through the middle of December, sort of. Now Mercury moves back into Aquarius. It'll be in forward motion for several months now. We don't have to worry about another Mercury retrograde anytime soon. But let's just briefly review what this means. So, first of all, Mercury is the planet of communication. And Mercury is known as the messenger. Also a really fun research or deep dive, if you're feeling like doing a little bit of research today, if that little clip that Rosa talked about, the correlation between the planets and mythology, if you enjoyed that, look into Mercury as well, because there's an awesome mythological background for that. So anyway, Mercury rules our rational mind, how we communicate, how we think, how we talk, how we listen, our reason, our curiosity, also technology, words, speech, analysis. This is why when Mercury is retrograde, we have communication breakdowns, technology glitches. It also rules short-term travel. Anyway, you can think of Mercury as just kind of your mental state, okay? Now, Mercury in Aquarius, as I mentioned, is very future forward thinking, very innovative. It's really a lovely energy because Aquarius is an air sign and Mercury is very airy, flighty, so we can have original ideas, innovative thoughts when Mercury is in Aquarius. And Mercury will be here for some time. Let me just pull up my calendar really quick and tell you how long Mercury will be in Aquarius. Let's see, through March 9th. So for a while, we are going to have more innovative thoughts. We can see new information come out about technology. This is also a very rebellious, freedom-seeking energy. So you can expect more communication around rebellion or doing things differently. Also, humanitarian causes are ruled by Aquarius. So not only are we thinking about how to innovate our own lives and how to do things differently, maybe we're revisiting some of the resolutions we made around the new year when Mercury had just moved into Aquarius and we were all about thinking big in the future and how we're going to do things differently this year. Might have lost a little bit of that steam during Mercury retrograde. Now you can pick that back up again and start revisiting some of those themes that you were just brainstorming at the beginning of the year. So not only are we thinking about innovating, doing things differently, moving into the future for ourselves, but we're thinking about how our communication, how the information we're putting out is also affecting the collective, our community. We're seeing different perspectives. It's interesting that Mercury moves into Aquarius right before the US's Pluto return on 2/22. Seems like there's kind of this tumultuous energy, not only in the US, but all around the world. And Mercury moving into Aquarius can help us see things differently or think differently or, again, give us different perspectives. So the key to using the energy of Mercury in Aquarius is being open to those new perspectives, new ideas, new information. Just stay flexible. And, Aquarians, they kind of like their conspiracy theories, I think, a lot. They're all about it because they're like, I like that there could be this other possibility. There could be this other perspective. So don't fall full down the rabbit hole, especially because we're heading into Pisces season. It's easy to get kind of like lost in a story, but remain open to new perspectives, new information. Be willing to change your point of view while Mercury is in Aquarius. And that happens at 2 p.m. this afternoon when the planet of communication moves into the sign of the water bearer. Now let's talk about the Leo moon because it just keeps getting better with this astrology forecast. So the moon moved into Leo around 3:30 this morning. So you're likely waking up under that Leo moon energy. And when the moon is in Leo, it can really ignite our passions. Leo is a very dramatic energy, very spicy. It's a sign of the lion. It's a little bit like peacocky and showy and proud, but also because we're feeling ourselves, we're feeling sexy, we're feeling great, we're like embodying our power with the moon in Leo. Also, a beautiful thing about the Leo moon is that Leo rules the heart. So emotionally, we'll be very connected to our heart space. We can feel more loyal to the people we love when the moon is in the sign of the lion. We're really just tapped into that loving heart energy. It's no secret why Leos are like the ultimate hype people because they just love so deeply and they want people to feel that love. So we're heading into the full moon on Wednesday morning in Leo. The energy is building up towards that full moon. And the Leo moon is actually mostly quiet for the day today. So we're just feeling that pure, loving, a little bit dramatic and showy Leo energy for most of the day. Expect there to be drama. I mean, this always happens on Valentine's Day, but there will be like a million proposals today just with the current energy. It's like people are ready to take action, to proclaim their love, to be passionate, maybe put on a little bit of a show. Or very theatrical when the moon is in Leo. And also a good idea to look at where Leo is in your chart as well. What area of your life will be activated by the Leo moon? And or what area of your life will you be emotionally activated in is another way to say that. The moon in Leo only makes 2 connections today, and they don't happen until late tonight. So 9 p.m. Pacific time, the moon forms a harmonious angle to Chiron in Aries. Both are in fire signs, and you can see Chiron over here in Aries. The moon is, where is the moon? He's still in Cancer. I should say she's still in Cancer. The moon is a very feminine energy. Here we go. So here's the Leo moon forming a trine to Chiron. Chiron being the wounded healer, representing our deepest wounds, our ability to heal them, and our ability to heal other people once we do so. Now, this creates an awareness of the healing we've done, the pain we've gone through. Definitely could bring up some painful past experiences. Valentine's Day, like I said, can be very triggering for people. However, because it's such a fortunate angle, we will be able to use past pain and the healing we've been doing specifically around our heart to our benefit, to our advantage by the end of the day today. This can help us fully express and understand ourselves when the moon forms this fortunate angle to Chiron. Sharing our healing, expressing our healing can be very positive under this aspect. And also this Valentine's Day could bring a new level of healing if you open up your heart enough to receive it, because this is such a flowing angle that if you open to it, it's going to come easily to you. So this could be a day or an evening of healing for you if that's something you're looking for. Or if you're just in the romantic energy, you might take a moment to reflect on how much work you've done to be able to get to this place, whether that's being able to receive love, getting to a place where you're open to it, or being able to express and give love. Ask yourself those questions when the moon forms a trine to Chiron this evening. Am I fully open to receiving? Am I fully open to giving love? What is holding me back? These are great questions to ask before this Wednesday's full moon as well in Leo, because this is all about our heart space still. We're going to be journeying through this over the next couple days. So what is holding me back or stopping me from fully receiving and fully giving love? Those are the questions to ask yourself, and those are the blocks to start removing ahead of this Wednesday's full moon. The last connection the Leo moon makes is an awkward angle to Jupiter. This happens at 11 p.m., just before midnight. So you can see it here on our chart. The moon, once it hits 10 degrees, is forming this imbalanced angle to Jupiter. Now, this is a time, again, to like remove any blocks. But also, I see this in a very literal way as like if you overindulge today on chocolate or sweets or all the things, you might be kind of feeling that the heaviness of that. I feel like for some reason this just came into my head like heartburn. You know, if you've had too much chocolate, like this could be heartburn with the moon and Leo, and it's like, ooh, there was too much abundance. Jupiter represents our abundance. We went a little overboard. We were a little bit excessive this Valentine's Day, and now we're feeling it either emotionally, like a sugar crash, or physically, like heartburn, or, just not feeling our best. But again, this is also asking us a question, this awkward angle between the moon and Jupiter. What do we need to release? What needs to be removed for us to fully align with abundance when it comes to love, when it comes to our heart, when it comes to fully loving and accepting ourselves and loving and accepting other people? Also, what parts of ourselves do we need to embrace in order to fully let our hair down, celebrate, dance, embody our joy under the Leo full moon? What blocks need to be removed? Those are the questions to ask yourself tonight. And for my friend who was talking about self-love this moon day, oh, most definitely Valentine's Day is not for me. This is for you, Alex. Listen up. So if you're not in a romantic relationship, if you are not in a place where you're looking for a romantic relationship, or that's even on your mind, you're just like not in that space, I get it. Totally get it. The Leo moon is a great time for self-love as well because Leo rules the self. It rules the ego. It's why Leos can be a little bit more confident, and like some Leos, I think a shadow side of Leo is being a little bit egotistical, right? But we can really focus on the self under the Leo moon and the love we have for ourselves. Again, this comes back to the attraction energy, right? Allowing your masculine and feminine energy to work together under this Venus-Mars conjunction internally. How can you give yourself love? Okay? Because love requires giving and receiving. You have to give yourself love in order to receive love from someone else. That's the energy you're putting out in order to receive. So how can you give yourself more love under this Leo moon? If you're not doing romance today, all good, but give yourself a little love, whatever that looks like for you. Oh, you're a Leo, so the moon is going to be transiting on your sun, depending on what house that's in. You might be a little more emotional today, Alex, but that's okay. Just focus on giving yourself love. Focus on yourself. Focus on balancing those masculine and feminine energies. Absolutely, truth. Yeah. And if you're a Leo too, you're just passionate in general anyway. So, I've said this probably 10 times already, but Valentine's Day can be a little bit triggering, and that's okay. It's just good to know yourself and know like how you feel about it. It's kind of a blessing to know where you're at before you head out into the world on Valentine's Day. Okay, so let's do a wrap up of all the current energy, and then we will pull a card to see what message Spirit has for us on this day of love. Not only love for other people, but love for yourself under the Leo moon. Okay, so here's the deal. This Valentine's Day, we have a beautiful energy to work with. Venus and Mars are coming into a month-long conjunction in Capricorn, really amplifying the energy of attraction. Our internal masculine and feminine energies are working together, and externally, we're able to attract the opposite of what we are. You can think of this like two sides of a magnet snapping together as Venus and Mars hold hands through the sign of long-term commitments, Capricorn, now through March 12th. This is a beautiful time to start a new relationship. This is a beautiful time to deepen a current partnership. And it's a beautiful time to find love for yourself using your own internal masculine and feminine energies. At the same time, Mercury moves into Aquarius this afternoon, helping us to do things differently, think about the future, innovate, maybe revisit some of those resolutions you set at New Year's and start working towards them again, or at least brainstorming about them again. The moon is in Leo. Hello romance, hello drama, hello passion. The moon doesn't make any major connections, but the beautiful thing about Leo and the moon being there is that Leo rules the heart space. So we will really be able to feel into our heart space today, feel the love today. If you are feeling all the romance, you'll be able to express it, maybe be a little more dramatic about the expression of your love today. The moon harmonizes with Chiron, the wounded healer, helping us find deeper levels of healing and use the healing work we've already done to express our love more purely and effectively tonight. And then we end the day with an awkward angle between the moon and Jupiter. We might be feeling a little bit of a sugar hangover or physical discomfort because of some excess we partook in earlier in the day. But overall, this is a time as we head up towards the Leo full moon on Wednesday morning to remove any obstacles, remove anything that's holding you back from giving and receiving love, remove any blocks you have in the way of the abundance you're calling in. Today is a beautiful day to lean into the love, and it will be easy to do so with all of the planetary energies working in our favor. So that's what's going on today. Oh, of course, Alex. I appreciate you being here every morning. I love the dialogue we always have, and I recognize everybody's at a different spot, but there's something for everybody in every transit. So I know I've been there, where people are talking about like, oh, it's a great time for love. And you're like, F you. I have nobody or I am not in the mood, But the beautiful thing about astrology is we can apply these transits to the inner work we're doing as well. So I'm going to pull from the Work Your Light deck today, and not only because it is one of my favorite decks, but because it has roses on the cards. So I'm like, Valentine's Day, we have to use this deck. And as always, while I'm shuffling, this is a great time to ask any last questions you have about the current energy. And or let me know how you're feeling, what your Valentine's Day plans are. Let me know. Okay. What do we need to know today? What do we need to know? Ooh, always perfect, always beautiful. The card I pulled was Don't Dim to Fit In. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Ah, so beautiful, so perfect. Automatically, I'm just like, okay, this is the assignment from the Leo moon. How are you dimming your light to fit in? The Leo moon wants you to express yourself to the fullest, to let that inner child out to play, okay? So this card is reminding us not to dim our light, and also really applicable to the energy of Valentine's Day as well, I think, because as someone who was single for a very, very long time in my life, when it seemed like everybody else wasn't. Doesn't it always seem that way when you're single, like everybody else is in a relationship? I definitely was guilty of this, dimming my light, trying to morph myself into a person that I thought people I was attracted to would want me to be, right? Or just trying to like be the girl that I thought guys would be attracted to. Does that make sense? And I found that once I just started being myself is when I actually started attracting partners, when I just like wasn't worried about being perfect or performing in this way that I thought was attractive, right? So don't dim to fit in. And here's the message. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Don't dim your light to accommodate someone else's smallness. We're all born to shine big and bright. The universe is expanding and you are part of the universe. So expanding is part of your nature. If someone makes you want to retract, notice and slowly back away. They are not for you and you are not for them. Go back to that magnet visualization, okay? Better yet, find it within yourself to expand and shine your light anyway. Flowers don't open and close according to who is walking by. They open and show their beauty regardless. If others don't want to be around you or you make them uncomfortable, it's because you are shining light on the fact that they are dimming to fit in. By choosing to shine bright, you may just inspire them to turn on their light too, or not. Keep your light on anyway. All relationships are essentially an energetic agreement. The moment one person decides to start rising up and allowing their light to shine, it changes the energetic agreement and can create some waves. Amen to that. That's completely normal. The relationships that are meant to last will adapt and change with the energy. Others won't because they were likely born under the proviso of I love you as long as you don't shine brighter than me. That's okay. Not all people are meant to be in your life forever, but the lessons they teach us can still live on. What a beautiful card for Valentine's Day. I could just like read this over and over again, and everything is packed with so much wisdom. But the Leo moon reminds us to shine fully, shine our light, shine on what makes us authentic, what makes us feel joy. And that is the most attractive energy you can put out. If somebody is repelled by you or you're repelled by someone, it probably means that magnetic agreement isn't meant to be, right? Those two magnets are pushing each other away. You want to find someone who's going to snap right to you, okay? So remember the magnet analogy. Remember not to dim your light to fit in. You are meant to shine. You are meant to be here. And whoever you are meant to be with, whether it's this Valentine's Day or future Valentine's Days, they're going to embrace the way you shine. And they're going to be the person in the front row while you're on stage cheering you on every step of the way. So don't forget that. Don't dim your light for anybody. And further stepping into what makes you awesome, what makes you authentic, what makes you unique, what lights you up is only going to bring in a loving connection that much faster. So don't forget how special you are this Valentine's Day. Don't forget to love yourself this Valentine's Day. If no one is buying you flowers and you want flowers, buy yourself some flowers. If you are waiting for a box of chocolates, go get yourself a box of chocolates, okay? You have the power within you to love yourself way more than someone else can love you. I promise that. Yeah, that's so true. I get it. I totally get it. I've been that girl. I have been that girl. So, also a great reminder here that, how do I best say this? Everyone is in our life for a reason. So if this Valentine's Day has you reflecting on past relationships as well, which Valentine's Day can definitely do, remember that everybody is here to teach us a lesson. There's always a reason we come into contact with someone else, right? So really think about, what did I learn from that relationship? What do I want to do differently in my next relationship? Mercury and Aquarius can help us see some different perspectives. So yeah, just find love for yourself today. Focus on loving yourself, loving the people who are in the front row while you're on stage, even if that's not romantic. Sending love to the people who cheer you on every step of the way, who support you. Remember when you were a kid and Valentine's Day wasn't even romantic? It was just about getting those little cardboard pieces of paper and handing them out to your friends and getting candy. That can be Valentine's Day as an adult too. It doesn't have to be this hearts, diamonds, flowers holiday, So remember how excited you were to just hang out with your friends and tell them how cool you thought they were. And I know I used to hand pick the Valentines I was going to give specifically for my best friends. I wanted them to have the best ones, Valentine's Day can be totally platonic. Tell your friends you love them today, okay? I feel like I'm just going on a rant about love now, so I should probably wrap this up. But yeah, thank you everybody who tuned in today, who aligned with the energy of love. That's what this whole live stream has been about. As we head towards the full moon in Leo on Wednesday, I want to let you know I have a special guest joining me this Wednesday, Stephanie Campos. She's another astrologer, and we're going to be talking all about the Leo moon together, so stay tuned for updates on that. That will be at 8:30 on Wednesday morning. I can't wait for you guys to experience her energy and meet her. And then we also have a new episode of The Spiritual Journalist premiering tomorrow at 11 a.m., and I am going to have my Valentine on the show with me. We're actually not talking about love at all. We're going to be talking about NFTs and the metaverse and cryptocurrency because we've gotten so many questions about that, and it's been a very hotly requested episode. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow on The Spiritual Journalist. Lots of fun stuff coming up this week. But for today, just remember, love yourself. If you can't love yourself unconditionally, you can't expect anyone else to, okay? And don't dim your light to fit in because you were meant to shine. I hope you have a beautiful Valentine's Day. I hope your day is filled with love, most importantly, love for yourself. And I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and to support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.